Oh, that's interesting. It says tire pressure. Carrier 175 psi. Land 75 psi. I wonder if that's from the Goodyear tire chart that everybody talks about. Probably. Okay, welcome to this week's episode of Luv Subbin. And where are we now?
We are on the shores of Lake Seneca in the Finger Lakes region of New York.
At Sampson State Park, and you can kind of see behind us here.
All the campers.
All the campers lined up around Lake Seneca and the RV campground.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, this campground
could not get better, right?
Has a military aviation museum attached to it. Hold the camera, I gotta take a moment. Seriously, there's an aviation museum at this campground.
Yes.
So we're definitely gonna have to hit that, or I'm gonna have to hit that later on. But yeah, this is an Airstream rally.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on the shores of the Finger Lakes, which is one of our favorite places. If you can see from this picture here, in 2007, we were voted King and Queen of the Finger Lakes Wine Festival.
Yes.
And so it has a good place in our hearts. But yeah, the Finger Lakes region is known for its wine, so we're gonna do some wine tasting and just get into the region here, which is just a wonderful part of this country. If you've not been to the Finger Lakes, definitely put it on your list. So let's go ahead and dive into all things Finger Lakes with the T-33 behind me. Oh.
So what just happened?
Yeah, so we film all kinds of bad stuff. So we went to stop at gas at the Skylar rest area here, and truck no start. That was about an hour ago.
Yes.
And you know, F-150s sometimes have a problem. Comment below if your F-150 does this, but they do have a problem with hot starting. When it gets super hot, they don't start that well. And so I'm like, yeah, no problem. It's just, it goes, and then it starts right up again. And that's what happened this time, only it never started again.
Right, we were just sitting there dead in the water.
And so I tested the battery, it was at 12.56, so I thought it was good, but we had a gentleman come over.
He offered to give us a jump.
And
it started up after a little bit though.
Yeah, the first time it didn't, and then he finagled stuff, and then it started. So maybe our battery is toast. We'll have to do some troubleshooting, but we're not turning this puppy off until we get docked and chalked at our campsite.
Yeah, that's correct.
We've been here an hour trying to get this thing started.
Yeah, but we felt very lucky because we were borderline getting ready to get towed.
Yeah.
Right. So on the road, let's go.
All right. My mind is working here.
Okay.
I'm wondering, this is the first time we've ever towed any distance.
With the lithium battery? With
the new lithium battery. And I'm wondering if that lithium battery is draining more from that battery, or it should be sending it from the alternator though. It shouldn't be doing anything with the battery, but it's just an interesting coincidence.
It is.
This is the first time we've ever towed an extended duration with the lithium battery. I'm wondering if that's,
we towed for like 3 hours before, and we're approaching 4 to 5 here. Yeah. So I'm not sure that's a huge difference, but we'll see.
Yep.
All part of the troubleshooting. So, more adventures today going to the rally. This has been an
adventurous tow.
Yes.
So we're just about 9 miles from the campground, and we saw an Airstream pulled over with flashing lights on.
Yep.
So we pulled over to see if we could help, and one of their wheels had come off. The entire tire, wheel, everything had come off. So there were 3 wheels.
And it sheared some of the.
There were 2 of the studs that were sheared.
Yeah.
Which obviously contributed to that, I guess.
But fortunately, they were double axle.
Yes, and with an Airstream, of course, with the torsion bar suspension, you can drive on 3 wheels for short durations, for short distances. So 35 miles per hour for less than 100 miles is what the manual says. And
there was a nice lady who stopped and offered to take them back to where their tire came off because she saw where it went off. So that was super nice. So kindness of strangers today. Yeah,
it's been interesting, but that's hope we're kind of following them to the campground to make sure they get there.
Yep.
And we'll be there shortly.
Yep, about 8 miles away.
Yep.
So, and we didn't turn the truck off, if you're wondering, while we were helping him out, just in case, because otherwise that would have been a disaster ×2, perhaps.
And you can see we made it safely to the campground as an Airstream tricycle. And we were talking to the owners, and they said the tire did go up in temperature on this one tire, as we did 35 miles an hour for only 10 miles. But yeah, so everything's good. All's well that ends well. He'll do some repairs. Airstreams can do it.
Yep.
Okay, so we're starting off today at the Wagner Vineyard. Hey, Wag! And so, yeah, we're right here on the Seneca Lake and the Finger Lakes. And what a better place to start than a vineyard. Great lunch. I've got the...
With the view.
Yeah, you check out this view here from our table. It is spectacular. We've got a rosé of Cabernet Franc.
Yes, they're excellent.
And Cindy's doing some...
I'm doing a balsamic grilled chicken.
And I have their
Really good.
tequila lime wrap. It's a great way to start. We're going to do some tastings. Maybe bring some bottles back.
So we are at Advanced Auto Parts store in Geneva, New York.
Yes. And so Cindy and I have been thinking about this a lot, doing some research, and we've decided, first of all, we're going to do two things. One of which we're going to do right here. We'll describe the other thing we're going to do back at the campground. But what we did is we did buy a new battery. A die-hard AGM. And so why do we think we need a new battery? So first of all, I was getting this error message all winter saying that they were shutting down stuff to conserve battery power, which was a little weird to me. But that had it in the back of my mind. I wonder if the battery is getting old. That brings up the second point, is that the battery is 6 years old. So, you know, that's beginning to be at the end of life for AGMs. And the kicker was, when we were at the stuck at I-90, the jump is what did it. So that eliminates to us, we think, the starter and anything else. So we think because as soon as he jumped it, it started, that tells me that there's a battery issue. So you can see here from this graph, when you try and decide whether you're going to do something, you list severity and probability on the axis. And this is a high severity, because if you're stuck, you're stuck.
Right.
And the probability of this happening, because we've seen some slow starts and all that other information, the probability is at least a medium. So when you have a medium probability and a high seriousness, you act on it. So that's what we're doing right now.
We're not going to take any chances.
We're not taking any chances. For 280 bucks, you know,
it's actually a relatively cheap fix. I mean, as opposed to a starter.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and do this, and then once we get back to the campground, I'll show you the other thing that we're going to be doing to make sure that what happened on I-90 never happens again.
Good job.
Okay, Sam, what's your role in this procedure here?
We're trying to reset all the stuff.
Yeah, when you remove the battery, you get all these procedures. So we get the manual out.
Yep.
Sin's doing that.
All right, so it says reset the Windows bounce back feature. So we go to page 97. Let's see what that says.
All right, we won't bore you with the details about the Windows bounce back feature. Okay, good morning. It is Sunday of the rally, and Cindy gets a richcation today, which means she gets to hang back at the trailer, do what she likes to do, maybe edit some videos, and I am hitting this military museum, which I had mentioned at the beginning of the video. And apparently, this area here, Sampson Naval Base, was where over almost 250,000 naval recruits were trained from 1942 to 1945 to serve as naval enlisted sailors across the Atlantic and Pacific theaters during World War II. It then shut down and was inactive for a while. And then at the outset of the Korean War, the Air Force, or the Army, I guess it was the Air Force then, didn't have enough training available for their aviators or pilots at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. So this became a training area for Air Force personnel. So we're gonna go ahead and check out some of the exhibits. I have as much time as I want. It's gonna be wonderful seeing both naval and Air Force aviation. Ah, sweet, that looks like Spam. Make sure you check out our video of when we toured the Spam Museum. Spam being very popular, of course, during the World War II, especially in Hawaii. But you can see some of the trainees. Ooh, there's SOS, or stuff on a shingle, for those of us with G-rated YouTube channels. They have up here the United States Navy cookbook, and yeah, you can see from this picture here, I posted this on Instagram a while back. Yeah, I had a Amazon drunk purchase where for some reason after watching a video I felt I needed the United States Navy cookbook from 1940, so I'm the proud owner of that, and it's actually come in a little bit useful and occasional for playing for rallies and large scale for cooking for 60 or 100 people. But yeah, I own one of these, or a replica. Look at this, it's a target kite with a Japanese 0, so I guess they would fly. I've never seen one of these. I guess it makes sense, you'd fly that in the air and people would shoot at it. I have never seen one of those before. That's very interesting, a target kite. In our video on the 4th of July this past year, you know, I mentioned about how long it had been since we had read the official Declaration of Independence. It had been since school years we'd read it. Well, here's the surrender instrument for World War II, and I don't think I've ever actually read that. So I spent some time reading it, very interesting, and we'll put a link, if there is a link, in the official government site, in case you're interested as well. But very fascinating piece of history here. So this periscope is from the USS Benjamin Franklin, SSBN 640, which would make it a ballistic nuclear missile submarine. So not really from World War II, but the optics were really, really good on it, and it's pretty cool. So as I said at the opening, once the World War II ended, the Navy kind of left here, and there was not a need, and turned it over to the Air Force during the Korean War. And this section of the museum highlights the Air Force training that was done here, and we're going to explore a little bit more, but you can see a definite shift from Navy blue to Air Force blue. Oh, I love it. They have a display of all their aircraft checklists. We have checklists. You can download ours for free. So admission to the museum is free, though they accept donations, and it takes place in what was formerly the brig or the prison security facility for the base. As you can kind of see by the windows, they kind of look like they've got bars on them. And the next stop after the naval portion and the Air Force portion will be exhibition of the secure prison facility. So let's go ahead and take a look in there. So you know how Cindy and I, whenever we're filming, enjoy looking at menus and things like that. And here's the menu for the prison here. And it was basically a 9-day rations. 6 of those days were bread and water 3 times daily, and 3 of the days were 3 K rations. So that was like your happy day when you got K rations. The rest of the time you were literally on bread and water. I didn't think they still did. Well, I assume they did that, and they obviously did. So yeah, that's not a fun place to be here. Yet again, like we see, really? I guess they have to put that there. Cindy and I often joke when we have a campground shower that's particularly bad, we say it's like a prison shower. Well, there's what an actual naval prison shower looks like, so we can compare in the future. Does your campground shower look better or worse than this? Part of me says the shower is not too bad compared to some campground showers I've been at. These black room toilets always reminded me of the Citadel one. Occasionally, when we were feeling somewhat mischievous, we would take our black shoe polish and coat the entire toilet in black shoe polish so that when somebody would go to use the facilities, they would end up with a big black ring around their butts for the next couple of days. Comment below if ever you did that type of shenanigans. I remember my first day at the Citadel, and Colonel Harvey M. Dick, the Assistant Commandant of Cadets, said, "Boys, if you want to go out there and see Sweet Thing, you better make sure she's worth it, because I'm going to catch you. Don't you play unless you're prepared to pay." Well, here, this guy, he got put in the brig here for going AWOL to go meet a girl that later became his wife. So in the words of Colonel Dick, he played, but he was prepared to pay. Let's say it paid off for him. All right, well, I think it's time to end this richcation. Go fuel up the truck. We'll end it in front of this T-2C Buckeye, which was the aircraft used to train naval aviators for their first carrier landings. And it's on loan from the National Naval Aviation Museum in Pensacola. So that's why it's kind of up here. It's something a little bit different. There were no naval aviators trained here. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and fuel up the truck, get back to the campsite for a relaxing day before our chilly dinner tonight.
So apparently a unit is responsible for these nice little signpost centerpieces, and I think this was a very clever idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Look, you get all the Taste of New York rally, but then you get all the different places that you can travel to and get some good ideas. We heard dinosaur barbecue's pretty good, so we may have to try that out when we're in the queues. Yeah, you don't say Syracuse.
You say the queues.
It's the queues.
Okay, yeah, sure. Work on it.
Hey, get out of my shot!
What do you mean get out?
I'm trying to shoot a video here.
Hey, I'm actually Luv Subbin. Hey,
Hey,
guys, how are
Travels. How goes it?
you? Good.
How's the weekend going?
Very good. How's your weekend?
Good. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You're shooting with... How's that DJI? Is that a DJI what?
It's a DJ Pocket 3.
I think it's awesome.
It is.
So here it is. I think two YouTubers coming together. I assume we're not going to have some weird energy going on here, but looks like a great dinner here with the barbecue.
Yes.
So it should be a good time. All right, Randy, we'll catch you guys.
Okay.
So how big are the grapes here right now at this time of year?
They're looking pretty good. I think what harvest is in October or something like that,
Something
or
like that,
maybe
September,
late September.
October.
Yeah, and they're looking pretty big, aren't they? These are a white grape, so they're probably either Riesling or maybe Gewürztraminer grapes.
Yep. We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Fun. So we're at the Three Brothers
Yes.
Winery and Estates.
Yep. And we've got a little bit of a flight going here. And I went entirely with the Austrian wines. So this is a Grüner Veltliner, which is obviously one of the famous Austrian whites. And I wanted to go with the Zweigelt, but Cindy recommended the Zweigelt and Cabernet Franc blend. So I got that here, and that'll be coming up next. You can see we get a beautiful view of the vineyards.
Yes.
Seneca Lake, as well as some weather off to our south.
Yep, and we might be getting some weather directly to our west as well. So the Airstream is all buttoned up, and
yep,
we don't have to worry about that.
As we always do, whenever you leave your rig, make sure your awning's in, and anything you don't want to get wet,
and
put
your
away.
fantastic fans are closed.
Even if the weather prediction is for perfection, you never know.
Correct.
So good morning. As you can see from the checklist, it is a tow day, and we're heading off to Green Lake State Park outside of Syracuse. But before we do so, we're going to make sure we don't have a repeat of what happened coming down here and getting stuck at that gas station. So let's go ahead and look at our battery. Our battery is at kind of sort of rest. A battery that's connected is never truly at rest because you've got things like the radio presets and things like that going on.
The screen that comes on whenever you open the door.
Yes, so it's not truly at rest, but let's go ahead and take a look. Interesting, it was just at 12.4 when I looked. Now it's at 12.27, so interesting. We'll just keep that monitoring. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the fuse for the trailer charge so that we're not connecting in any way to the battery. Comment below if you think that lithium battery could have had some form of effect or discharge of us not being able to get started again. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the fuse. We've looked up the fuse in our book. It is fuse number 30, which corresponds to that little guy right there, which is that guy right there.
A lot of little fuses in there.
So we're going to pull him out, totally disconnected, because Cindy did some research and found out that RVs that are equipped from the factory with lithium actually have the charging pin in the 7-pin connector disconnected. So I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah, I wouldn't believe anything I read on the internet unless it comes from Luv Subbin. But yeah, comment below if you think that this is going to help. So we're going to go ahead and pull that fuse just to make sure we're not sending anything back to that lithium battery.
So what are you going to do with your fuse? Put it somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to put it somewhere safe where I can, I'm not going to throw it on the ground or anything like that. I mean, I'm going to keep it.
No, I just want to make sure that you put it somewhere so we don't know where it is.
And I don't have a fuse puller on me, so I'm using my hands. You should use a plastic fuse puller. That's a weird little fuse. I don't think I have any replacements for a little fuse like that. So that might be something we have to look at. This is a 25 amp fuse. We're gonna go ahead and see how it goes because we're gonna spend a couple of hours at a rest area because we've only got a 72-mile tow. Check out here is at 11. Check in at Sampson or check in at Green Lakes is 3 o'clock. So we're gonna have some time. All right, so I think I have found what is the greatest dump station I've ever seen in my life. In fact, I'm not even calling it a dump station. I'm calling it a dump complex. So if you look at it from here, you can see that there's awesome lanes. There's 4 separate stations. There's lanes to pull in so that you don't have to wait. So there's definitely ample opportunity to get in here, pull in. But let's go ahead and take a look at the dump station itself to see why this thing really shines.
Okay.
This mess, by the way, wasn't me. That was here when I got here. But if you look at it, it's sloped perfectly, so we're able to drain without any pain. You've got the flush hose with the screw hose adapter. Sometimes they just have like a rubber hose, which is fine for people like me, but for those with the flush tank, awesome. They've got a separate station to dump your gloves, as opposed to having to go find a dumpster or something like this, which is great.
Has lights if you need it.
It has lights. Look at this. If you're coming in after dark or something like that.
Or dusk, even dusk, they'll probably be lit.
The potable fill station is further down so that you don't have to get it too close or confuse it. It is overall, I would say, one of the best dump stations I have ever seen.
Awesome.
Good job, New York State.
So this is rest area
Yes.
number 2.
So we'll see if we start. Please.
Started right up.
Start it right up. So that's good. It makes us happy, right? But the problem is now we don't know exactly the true root cause because we switched 2 things at once. Was it the fact that we had basically a dying battery, or was it the fact that we pull the pin to the lithium battery? So comment below again what you think is the root cause. I'd love to know. Right now I don't know.
So it could be one of 2 things.
I'm leaning towards that it was the battery, simply because when we jumped it, it worked. That was, and I'd been getting that error message that I spoke of before. So.
Correct. But it probably doesn't hurt to disconnect the hookup to the
probably
trailer.
Doesn't. So there you have it. We're running.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you have it. A little bit of drama, a little bit of Finger Lakes, a little bit of wine.
Yep.
And a great weekend with friends from the Airstream Club.
Correct. You know, we experienced some battery problems, and we tried to do our best fix. And we're on our way to another adventure.
Yes. So if you like this video,
give us a big thumbs up.
And if you think we've earned a subscription, click that subscribe.
And comment below if you had a favorite winery at the Finger Lakes Wine.
Because we come out with RV and Airstream related videos just like this one every Tuesday.
Thanks for watching.